Anne Burrows, distinguished Toastmaster 3 times, will be giving her speech from the Engaging Humor Pathway, Level 3, using descriptive language. The purpose of the speech is for the speaker to practice writing a speech with an emphasis on language to increase interest and impact. Anne will be sharing a true story of an unusual miracle. Let's welcome Anne. Love, honor, and cherish.
Fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests, how many of you have pets that you love and adore? I know some of you do. Well, in the United States, about 3/4 of the people have some type of a pet that they love, honor, and cherish. Now, for some people, their pets are their family. And for other people, they prefer their pets to their family. And the top 5 pets are dogs, cats, fish, birds, and horses. But not everybody likes just the conventional animals. Like my daughter, Kim, she loves geckos. Now, you might be wondering, what's a gecko? But if you remember the Geico commercials with the green fellow with a Cockney English accent, that's a gecko. Truth be known, geckos don't have a Cockney English accent. In fact, they don't even speak English. In fact, they scarcely make sounds at all, just a little chirpy sound once in a while. My daughter decided she was going to purchase a couple of geckos. But before she did, she decided she was going to read up about anything she could find out about geckos so that she could be a good gecko parent. She went online, found out what temperature they like, what they like to eat, what kind of housing they like. And after she found all the information, she went out and bought a cage that looked like a terrarium. She put down bedding, some logs, some stones, some shells, and some feeding bowls. And she went to the store and bought 2 geckos. Now, they weren't green like the Geico gecko, but it was what's called a leopard gecko. And you can see by the spot why they would name it that name. She named her 2 geckos Baba and Bee. Now you would think with a gecko, she wouldn't be all that up close and personal like you might be with a dog or a cat, but not so. She would hold them in her hand and pet them and kiss them and carry them around on her shoulder. She loved, honored, and adored her geckos. Now, my husband and I taught a class on the east side, and my daughter lived in Willoughby Hills on the east side. So we would often go visit her after our meeting. This one particular day, we came, and she had just come home from work. She said her hellos. She went up to the loft, and she went to say hello to the geckos and feed them their favorite meal, live crickets doused with vegetables. Well, she wasn't gone but a few minutes when we heard this blood-curdling shriek from up on the loft. Now, let me explain. My daughter's a Pisces. She's very sensitive, and she's known to be a bit of a drama queen. This shriek, oh my, we knew something was wrong. So we ran upstairs, and we saw our daughter standing there shaking. She was distraught, disturbed, and distressed. She couldn't even talk. All she could do was point in the cage. So my husband and I peered in the cage. Oh my gosh, we knew exactly why she was so upset. You see, little Bean that used to be this long was now only this long. We looked in there, the poor little guy looked like a little gecko gimp hobbling around in the bottom of the cage. And I don't know what was worse, watching the poor little guy wobble around or wondering what happened to that 3 or 4 inch tail that was nowhere to be seen. Ooh. Well, we did our best to calm our daughter down, and eventually she started to calm down and she started to think a little more clearly. She remembered in the material that she had read that they talked about this amazing thing that geckos can happen. If they're being chased by prey, they can actually pop off their tail. The tail keeps wiggling, and the prey chase after the tail, and the gecko gets away literally with his own life. So we prayed that her gecko was the type of gecko that this would happen to. And sure enough, it did. At first, it was just this little nub on the back of his tail, where his tail was, I should say. And then it started to slowly grow a little longer, a little thicker, and the spots started to show up. And eventually, little Bean was back to his normal size. Now, he never quite looked the same. The coloring was a little bit different. But oh my gosh, what a miracle of nature. Now, my daughter did immediately go out and buy another cage, and she split the two of them because she was never going to have that happen again. So, fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests, if you have pets, find out everything you can about them so you can be the best pet mama or dad that you can be, so that you will love, honor, and cherish your pets. And in turn, they will love, honor, and cherish you. Madam Toast.